You're live.
Right. So we're going to get started here in about a minute. So we'll let everybody kind of get on and get situated, and then we'll get going. So we'll just let this run for another minute while people are getting on. Good.
All right, we are looking good. Go for it.
So welcome to Arizona Live Chiropractic Center. I'm Dr. Cathcart. This week I've talked to a few people about tonight and that I wanted them to watch. And when I told them that, I thought I was talking on the philosophy of chiropractic tonight. And I actually looked at the schedule this morning and I realized that we're actually talking about the Zerona tonight. So I wanted to just tell any of you that are tuning in thinking you're going to see me as I'm going to actually say a few things and then introduce Devin, and he's going to talk more about the Zerona. So a couple of years ago I went to a chiropractic seminar. I love to listen to a doctor named Dr. Dan Murphy, DC. He's a great speaker. And I went to a seminar that he was doing, and he was talking about these lasers. And so I actually decided to put it to the test. So Devin's going to talk more about this Zerona laser and what it does. But I volunteered. I went into the back of the room at this seminar, and they literally measured my waist. And then they laid me on the table for 20 minutes, and then they measured me again. And it was almost a full inch smaller. And I was dumbfounded. So Devin will talk a lot more about how that works and what this does. But this weekend I just went to another seminar. Every year we have to do continuing education. So I have to get 12 credits every year. And Dr. Dan Murphy was in town again this weekend. And so I went to his seminar again. I love listening to him speak. He's a great speaker. He always has great research. And he talked more about the things that they've learned about what these are called cold lasers and what they do, the physiological effects of them. And they're learning more and more about why they're so amazing. And so I'm excited for you to listen to Devin tonight. He's going to talk about these lasers, but they're learning that these lasers, not only this laser, it helps to decrease your waistline, but it decreases inflammation. It does great things for digestion, and he'll talk a lot more about that. I just wanted to talk for 1 minute about chiropractic, because that's what I do, is chiropractic. And chiropractic in 3 sentences is basically this. And we're going to talk more about this next week. But the body is a self-healing, self-regulating organism, and the nervous system is the master system, controls all the other systems. And when you have interference to the nervous system, then it does interfere with the body's ability to heal and regulate. And so chiropractors remove it and allow your body to communicate with the brain the way it's supposed to, and everything functions better. So what I'm going to do is turn the time over to Devin, and he's done this presentation several times, so he does it a lot better than I do, because I've never done this presentation. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my son, Devin Cathcart.
All right.
Thank you, Doc. Okay, so Zerona Z6. What the heck is a Zerona Z6? You might be thinking, oh, we're talking about coronavirus. No, Zerona Z6. Also, just so this is stuck in your head, every time I do something with Zerona table or anything like that, I always get the song Zerona stuck in my head. So maybe you guys can join me in having that song constantly playing in the back of your head. All right, so kind of like Dr. Cathcart mentioned a little bit about already, Zerona Z6 laser is a cold laser therapy that helps to leak the fat out of your fat cells. It is the ultimate healthiest alternative to any type of fat loss procedure that you could find out on the market, and it is an amazing product and does some amazing things for the body. So let's dig into that a little bit. So Zerona Z6, the laser machine, actually comes from a company called Zerona. Zerona is a laser company. Dr. Cathcart mentioned he just had a seminar with the Zerona company in Scottsdale, I think, or something. But Zerona was a company founded in 1996 by two gentlemen who were interested in the laser business and were interested in laser in general and started their own company. It's a U.S. born and raised company, so hoorah, USA. So let's talk a little bit about the necessity of why are we even here? Why are we talking about a fat loss laser? How have we got to this point that we need one? Obesity in the United States, right? The U.S. is the second highest rate of obesity in any large country. Just over the last 40 years alone, we've had a 300% increase in obesity in the U.S., both in adults and in children. This is definitely an issue. It's a problem, and obesity causes a lot of health issues the longer it sticks with us. How have we gotten a 300% increase in the last 40 years? A lot of it has to do with the diet changes and lifestyles that we have come accustomed to in our day-to-day living here in America. We intake over 450 calories on average of beverages every single day as American people. This right here is an actual picture of me before Zerona Z6 laser. But as you see, all these different drinks that we have these days are jam-packed full of sugars, jam-packed full of calories, jam-packed full of carbohydrates, and it's one thing to intake these things in our bodies, let alone the negative effects they have on your bone density, on your gut flora, your all sorts of other things, your complexion. But we intake all these extra calories, all these extra carbs, and we're not nullifying this extra intake of carbs. Meaning we're not, maybe that's not the right word, but we're not adjusting our lifestyle to be able to accommodate extra carbs in our lifestyle. We don't typically find ourselves hitting the gym extra hard because we took down a big goal, right? So we're intaking all these extra calories, and yet we're not adjusting our lifestyle to accommodate these extra calories, and that's what spikes a lot of obesity. Obviously, diet can affect obesity. So obesity affects all sorts of chronic diseases. We have diabetes, heart disease, cancers, osteoporosis. The list can go on about the different health effects that you can actually put on yourself by having too much weight on you. So there's all sorts of invasive and non-invasive alternatives out there for fat loss. Obviously, the best way to create a healthy lifestyle for yourself is actually to change your lifestyle, and these alternatives that we're showing you here are just the ways that you should utilize or shouldn't utilize as ways to help you get to the point you want to be. But maintenance always comes through a lifestyle change. So there's three different things I just want to touch on today, three different alternatives to losing weight, or losing fat, I should say. LED lights is one way that a lot of people like to try and shed some fat. It's actually been shown that LED is just, it's a hot light. It's a light, it heats up. The longer you're under an LED, you start to get warmer and warmer, and you start to sweat. So actually, you do still lose minuscule amounts of fat utilizing LED, but a lot of it is water weight, and then you don't get as much of the actual fat loss that you could from Zerona, for example. But you lose a lot of water weight in that alternative way there. The other two that I wanted to mention were liposuction and coolsculpting, and I kind of lumped them together in one subject, if you will, because both of these have things in common, even though they're different procedures. With liposuction, obviously you're doing a surgery, you're removing fat from the body surgically, and hoping that you stay healthy, fit, and can maintain that as well. Coolsculpting is an actual, you lay down, you freeze parts of your body, and it kills all the fat cells in there, and then they massage and break up those the frozen fat cells that have just died because they got frozen out. And then your body starts to get rid of these dead cells. The issue that we have with both these procedures is they are damaging to your fat cells. Why is that a big deal? Why is it a big deal to get rid of fat cells or to maintain and keep healthy fat cells? We'll touch on that in just a second. Here's a couple examples. Obviously, this is just a joke. I couldn't find anybody sweating on an LED table as an example. But LED, you're typically losing water weight. Liposuction, it's been pretty common to find that people will come in and say, I need some liposuction done. I don't like my legs or my hips. They get great results. Later down the road, the fat actually starts to come back in awkward and odd places. It's been shown to happen quite a bit. And then here's some results of coolsculpting. You know, you got a lot of downtime, a lot of aches and pains because you're literally freezing and killing cells in there and then breaking them up and getting rid of them. So why would you kill or remove a fat cell? The most significant physiological function of white adipose tissue, or in other words fat cells, are coagulation, appetite regulation, immunity, glucose and lipid metabolism, reproduction, angiogenesis, I always say this one wrong. Say it with me, Doc.
Fibrinolysis.
Thank you. I'm illiterate. Body weight homeostasis and vascular tone control. So you're telling me that my fat cells help control all these different aspects and functions of the body? Yes. And so why in the world would you want to kill them or remove them? I don't know. So here is a brief scale. They use this to measure wavelength. And so when you break it down into this very small section here of safe light or visible light, this is the safe zone of all of the wavelengths on the wavelength chart here. This small section is your visible light scale, shown blown up here. Any visible light you see is a safe light. So when you're talking more about the Zerona laser itself and all of Erconia's lasers that they make are in this safe light zone, and different measurements react with the body differently. So this is with the measurement of the Zerona laser right here, through 635 nanometers. I got a little brief video I'm going to play for you guys that better explains the importance of fat cells.
Are the fatter cells. Fat mass and slim tip.
Uh-oh.
They're fat cells.
Sounds like our speaker just went out. Let's see. Let us know in the comment section if you guys can hear this, okay?
Bodily functions and support the processes that keep us lean. They help regulate our metabolism, our immune system, and produce hormones and proteins, all of which are essential to a lean, thinner body. When fat cells become enlarged, they create detrimental effects on our health, leading to heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and inflammatory disorders. Enlarged fat cells no longer produce the hormones needed to assist the liver in processing and removing fat and toxins. Muscles can no longer use glucose for energy. More fat gets stored, and there's an increase in blood pressure. Because of this, reconstructive procedures that focus on eliminating fat cells, such as fat mat, with procedures like liposuction and fat freezing techniques, which can be painful and may be counterproductive. Fat mat doesn't like to freeze, and when he does, he will regenerate or grow larger in new areas of your body to compensate for what was taken. The latest research shows that these fat cells can multiply up to 300 billion, shattering the previous notion that fat cells could only grow larger, but couldn't grow cells. Fat mat has hope to become healthy and lean again, and that is with Zerona Z6 non-invasive fat loss laser. Instead of harming fat mat, Z6 uses low-level lasers to induce a temporary pore in the fat cells, which then allows the harmful fatty material to seep out, emptying the fat cell and causing them to shrink down to a slim tip. This leads to an overall reduction in inches, a lean body, and a very happy human. The best part is, Zerona Z6 requires no surgery, no downtime, and no side effects. To learn more about Zerona Z6, visit myzerona.com or call us at 833-493-7662.
All right. So I hope you guys can understand that okay. Sorry for the fuzziness. Looks like we need to get new speakers. But as I was mentioning, fat cells are extremely important and vital for the homeostasis of your body, the equilibrium, the balance of all functions and organs in your system. Your fat cells play a key role in a lot of aspects of your body. So here is a before and after kind of picture here to visualize what is exactly happening when this Z6 laser comes in contact with your skin, with your body, and what's your body doing, how is the fat reacting. So we have there's FDA approvals on this. There's been a lot of FDA testing on the Zerona laser to show its safeness and effectiveness. But just in this picture alone, you can see kind of lumpy, fatty material here from a liposuction procedure. So just normal liposuction, removing the fat, lumpy, clumpy, all those fun words. And then here's a liquefied fatty material after a laser treatment. It almost looks like, as gross as it is, this fat almost looks like it could be some kind of juice, orange juice or something that's very liquidy, oily, and broken down quite a bit after the laser treatment. Here's just another, example, figure 4 through 9 here. You can see this is what the cell's doing in conjunction with this laser and the communication between the laser and your body. So it creates a small pore in the actual cell itself. You can see this pore, maybe you can't see it too well in there, but there's a pore being created here. The fat starts to leak out. Your cells continue to leak out the fat and toxins out of your fat cells, eventually until it looks like a little flattened grate or something like that. But the key factor here is that your cell is still in contact, your cell is still functioning and healthy. It's just gotten rid of the fat and the toxins out of the cell. And here's just another example, emulsifying effect of pre-treatment and post-treatment of fat cells. Very cool that we have those pictures to kind of demonstrate what's happening to these cells when they're treated. So there's been a lot of clinical studies, like I mentioned before, FDA trials and clinical studies that show an average of 3.72 inches lost, you can kind of see up here, in just 2 weeks alone over 6 sessions, all without changing these people's diet or exercise. So 2 weeks, 6 sessions, 3 sessions every week for 2 weeks, people were losing on average 3.72. The great thing about the Zorona is there's no side effects, no downtime, no pain. You don't have to stress about negative side effects with this thing, and you're getting the results in as little as 2 weeks. So, but the very key factor that I highlight right here is that there's zero change to the property of your fat cells, and that's key for your health and your stability and your body functions. So how much fat is that really? 3.72 inches of loss. We're talking 12,600 calories, which equals 61 cheeseburgers, 72 cartons of ice cream, 2.3 liters of pure fat. That's what we're talking when we say you've lost 3.72 inches of fat. And how does that equate to pound loss? 4 inches of fat loss is equated to about 5 pounds of fat. 4 inches of fat loss is also about 2.7 liters of fat, which is a successful liposuction is right in that ballpark there. So we're getting the same type of results in 2 weeks that liposuction gets in their surgeries, but we're not killing your fat cells and we're keeping you healthy, and you have 0 downtime, 0 side effects. You tell me which one you want to do. Like I mentioned with the FDA trials, they found out there's 0 negative side effects. In fact, there's more positive side effects other than just losing inches in weight. And so this literally means we can treat you anywhere on your body. Arms, neck, derriere, chest, anywhere. We can treat you everywhere. I won't touch on this one too much just for sake of time tonight. But there's a huge benefit, like I mentioned, positive side effects of the Zerona Z6 laser when talking about inflammation in the gut and your gut flora. There's a lot packed behind it, but ultimately this laser, the specific measurement that it's set at is acts as an anti-inflammatory treatment. And so there's a lot of gut healing. And you know, as they say, your gut really is your second brain. If you can heal your gut, you can heal quite a bit of issues. So that's an awesome side effect. Likewise, what is the word I'm looking for? Reduction of cellulite in your body. Cellulite ultimately comes by your fat cells grabbing onto too many toxins, too much fat, and creating that lumpy look on the surface of your skin. Well, with this, you're reducing the fat and detoxing your cells, so it helps with the cellulite look as well, and tightening of skin. So where does the fat go? Fat, ultimately, when it's being treated by this laser, you have the effect of it emulsifying, turning into that liquid, leaving the cell, leaving the pores of the cells. So the fat leaves the cell and enters the extracellular space. Your triglycerides are then absorbed by your lymphatic system and then transported via the lymph vessels to the lymph nodes, and then broken down by your macrophages to then transport to your circulatory system, and your circulatory then uses it as fuel. So the key reason why people lose inches and lose weight and actually shed real fat from their bodies and from their cells is because it goes into their cardiovascular system, which your cardiovascular system then uses it as fuel. So you got to do some kind of, if you're not already doing something every day in the physical aspect, or some type of, going for a walk or any type of exercise, you're not going to see as great as results as you would if you're doing even just a little bit every day. Your body burns off fat every single day and uses it as energy. This accelerates that process. So here's a couple befores and afters as we start to wrap up here tonight. Some of these are amazing and drastic, and I just love these results. This is 6 treatments in 2 weeks. You can see the before and after, amazing results. Lots of de-inflammation. In this one, you can tell, especially in her legs and thighs, and even in her arms, you can kind of see the slight differences there. Also 6 treatments, 2 weeks. Here's a lady who did 8 treatments over 4 weeks, kind of spread it out a little bit more. And the great one about this one is not even just the circumference reduction, but also you can see in her legs, there's a little bit of that cellulite, that lumpy look, and there's a tightening of the skin, a tightening reduction of that cellulite, that lumpy look of fat. Here's another amazing example of that reduction of the lumpiness, the lines, you can see it just really tightens up the skin and helps get rid of the cellulite look. Here's a gentleman who did 6 treatments over 3 weeks. Amazing reduction there. Another gentleman here, 6 treatments, 2 weeks, front and back there. The amazing you can definitely see a difference, but it gets amazing when you look at his side view here, and then the reduction in just that stomach alone. And on the back too, you can see, like I mentioned before, reduction in those lines, the lumpy looks, and smoothing and tightening of the skin. Another great example, smoothing, tightening of the skin, pulling it back. Even works on necks. You don't have to stress anymore about the underside of your neck, your chin. It can reduce any part of your body. And on that note too, one thing I didn't mention is your body is always trying to keep an equal state of everything. These checks and balances going on in the human body. And so even if we were to treat just your stomach for 6 treatments over a couple weeks, your body will leak and lose fat fairly equally throughout your whole body. Obviously, you're going to see the most results in the areas we're treating, but it's not like we're going to treat your stomach and your arms will still have all the fat there. Your body starts to lose and leak the fat all over and tries to keep everything balanced. So don't have to stress about awkward or, deposits of fat in one part of your body and not the other. Your body will lose it all equally. Here's a very cool story, just to touch on this guy. He was utilizing the Zerona Z6 laser out in West Covina, California. And not only did he lose 20 pounds and several inches doing these sessions, but more importantly, he had a lot of blood work done before and after his treatments, and it was amazing, his results. So in this section here, you can see all these results that he got. So his triglycerides dropped from 2,086 to 160. His cholesterol dropped 127 points. Good cholesterol increased from 17 to 35. Fasting glucose dropped from 305 to 117. Hemoglobin A1C dropped from 10.7 to 7. And liver enzymes dropped from 99 to 57 for ALT and from 46 to 32 for AST. So we've actually had some clients of our own who've come into the office and done similar testing, and it's just amazing to see the results of how this laser really is helping take down inflammation, balance things out, heal your gut, and your body starts to fix itself. It's an amazing concept. Here's my own personal experience. My wonderful Disneyland shirt my wife picked out for me, Googly Bear. But you can see these results here. So my story was, probably similar to most people's. I got married about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years now. And within the first year and a half, I put on a decent amount of I put on a very unhealthy amount of happy weight, if you will. And so I started to get bigger, starting to affect my day-to-day lifestyle. And I hadn't quite made the commitment to change my lifestyle, but when Dr. Cathcart, my father, he got the Zerona's laser and asked if I would be kind of the spokesperson for it. So I started researching about it, and I said, man, if I'm going to be preaching to the people, I have to understand how it works and get my own testimony. So I used it, and every single time I used it, I lost an inch off my stomach. And we were only measuring my stomach at the time, and every single time I lost an inch, and I started to feel better. I started to be more motivated to change my lifestyle, and so I did. It helped me to really kick into gear. And I started to, for me personally, it helped to do a ketogenic diet, where it's just a low carb, high in healthy fats, and a moderate amount of protein. But that diet lifestyle came because I became motivated from the Zerona Z6. It literally was healing my gut, shrinking my gut, building my confidence, and I just felt better. So I'm now down about 50 pounds, and I could stand to lose a handful more, but it's just helped give me a good, healthy lifestyle again. I can play basketball with my friends and not get winded after just a few times running up and down the court, which is my favorite. So top 5 reasons you'd want to choose Zerona. So obviously we get results. Patients lose anywhere from 3.5 to 11 inches. Some patients have lost even more in just that 2 to 3 week time frame. It's measurable. We'll show you not only the numbers of what you're losing, but you'll also just notice it in that whole tight jean feel. Your clothes will fit better and all that great stuff. It's safe, no side effects, there's no downtime, and it's convenient. You just come in for a 40-minute session. We, so you're at our office for 40 minutes at a time, but you're completely on your own for the majority of it in the room getting treatments. We come in before to get it set up and come in afterwards to make sure you're okay and not completely asleep, because it's so relaxing and peaceful to be in there. And then you're on your way. So here's what to expect. Obviously, with any type of weight loss, nothing is ever, liposuction or coolsculpting or even Zerona Z6 laser is going to be lasting if you don't make some lifestyle changes. Even on the small scale, increasing your nutrients, decreasing the amount of carbs or calorie intake on your day-to-day basis. You don't have to completely change your entire diet and get on some regimen diet program. If you want to, obviously you'll see even greater results. However intense you want to get about it is, you get out what you put into it when it comes to your health. But here's what to expect. The 20 minutes front, 20 minutes back, that's your 40-minute session. We need you to stay hydrated, not only just for this program, but just to be healthy. Hydration is key not only for your body to function. Okay, we break it down to the cellular level, and your cells tend to communicate better when you're hydrated. So minimum, we need you to drink 64 ounces of water every day. It's recommended to do 1 ounce per 2 pounds of your body weight. So for example, if I'm 200 pounds, I need to be drinking 100 ounces of water every day. Yes, sir.
So does staying hydrated mean that I should drink extra sodas and energy drinks?
Great question, and no. No, those type of things are actually dehydrators. You could drink a ton of water, and then if you drink a handful of sodas in a day, you are reversing the effects of that water intake and you're damaging your body. What's up, Doc?
So no sodas.
No sodas. Cut sodas out of your lifestyle. That should be your first step. That was what really helped me a lot in the very beginning. After doing Zerona, I cut out sodas, and it changed a lot for me. Lymphatic system needs stimulation. Okay, your lymphatic system helps to break down fat, helps to get rid of it. You can utilize, compression garments, just going out walking every day for at least 15-20 minutes. Anything above that is just going above and beyond the call of duty, going for a run, going to the gym, swimming, whatever it is that you feel more confident and comfortable with, utilize it and do a lot of it, and you won't regret it. You'll get great results. So minimum for our table for the Zerona treatments, we ask that you try and do 15 to 20 minutes every single day. Go for a walk around your house, walk around your backyard, march in place if you have to, get some movement in your body. And you can also utilize massages too. Massages help to move the lymphatic system, get it stimulated, especially if you're doing a lymphatic massage. And then, like I mentioned, healthy common sense eating. Of course, we're not going to ask you to completely get on some super strict diet. If you want to, we have an amazing program that has worked for many, many people. We have a great program here in the office. It's called Ideal Protein or Ideal Life Weight Loss. And we've seen great results by many, many people have come through this office, and we could spend a whole nother day, a whole nother evening talking about ideal life weight loss. But utilize it. If you're in need of a lifestyle change, that is a great way to go. But if you find yourself as someone who is fairly physically fit, fairly active, for the most part in shape and healthy, and you seem to not be able to lose that just last little bit of stubborn fat, this is an amazing machine. But ultimately, we need common sense eating, up your nutrients, bring in some more greens and some more vegetables, some lean meats, high healthy fats, things like nuts and avocados are amazing. All that kind of stuff is going to do you wonders. I guess that wraps up the whole thing. So typically when it comes to the treatments, we do 1 to 2, here in our office we do 1 or 2 treatments a week. Depending on the package and your goals in mind, we kind of accommodate to what you're wanting out of the machine and out of your life. And we try and help you to the best of our ability to achieve your goals, be it through Zerona or Protein, or just, you know, general tips and tricks from one friend to another. Again, Zerona Z6 is the only thing on the market currently as an alternative way of losing fat that you're not going to have any type of downtime, no pain, no side effects, and ultimately still be able to get results with minimal changing of your lifestyle. But there does need to be a good, healthy lifestyle, regardless if you're going to want to keep those results with anything you do. The wonderful thing about Zerona is you don't have to have money as an excuse if you're not feeling comfortable with, you know, forking out the money to be able to utilize Zerona, which is cheaper than your other alternatives like Liposuction and Coolsculpting. We here in office are teamed up with a company called Riddy, so we do in-house financing if that's something that you want to utilize. 100%. Oh, that's where there it is. 100% approval rating, guaranteed minimum of 1,500. 100% of the plan goes back to us, the doctor. There's only a 3% processing fee and guaranteed option, and they don't go through your credit and all that kind of stuff. And we can talk more on the details of payment if you guys wanted to utilize the Zerona. So look into it more. If you have any more questions, feel free to give us a call. We're happy to answer any questions you have. During the rest of this month, before July comes around, so June, was it 30th? Do we have a 30 days or 31? 30. I knew that. Up until June 30th, we're having our deal right now that we typically only offer at events, exclusive kind of pricing. But if you purchase between June or up until June 30th, you'll get the 8 treatments at the price of 6. So you're getting 2 free treatments if you buy any time now until June 30th for our summer special. So give us a call. We're happy to answer any questions. I guess I should check and see if there's any questions currently. Let's see here. All right, no questions. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Again, give us a call. We're happy to answer anything you might have questions about. Thank you, and we'll catch you guys later.